In our first meeting with the Arhuaco, we were confronted that we as Westerners have taken hostage their children. They didn't see them as subjects. We didn't know how to nourish them. To better understand what they expect from us, what we needed to do, we really needed to go deeper into their world.
We met up with Mama Camilo and translator Hyson at a place by the ocean, and we're expecting to have a conversation about the objects and about the exhibition. But instead, they led us into this, what ended up being a guided meditation. And I realized afterwards that a part of that process was about unlearning our Western way of thinking and opening ourselves up to a new way of looking at the objects. When Arhuaco men meet to sit and think, they're always chewing coca leaves. And that's what those bags are for. One is for coca leaves, and the other is for the poporo, which is this gourd container that the men use all the time. Chewing coca is not like taking cocaine. It's more comparable to drinking a cup of coffee. They say it helps their thoughts focus and travel.
Que muchas veces sucede que uno entra a un momento, va a hablar de algo sin la autorización, sin el permiso, y uno viola muchos espacios inconscientemente, ¿cierto?
Claro.
Entonces, aquí lo que vamos a hacer es, para yo tener ese permiso de hablar del tema, tengo que limpiarme primero yo mismo.
Okay.
Nosotros decimos que estamos vivos, estamos respirando, pero ¿dónde nace ese oxígeno para nosotros respirar? Es alguien que representa y cuida de ello, son los árboles. El pensamiento de nosotros fluye, viaja tanto porque existen los árboles. Si no, no existiéramos nosotros, entonces tenemos que cuidar del árbol. Entonces, desde la especie más pequeña hasta el más grande, tenemos que limpiarlo.
The Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta is the world's tallest coastal mountain. I mean, nowhere else in the world do you have an ecosystem that goes from coral reef all the way up to over 5,000 meters and a snow-capped glacier.
The Arhuacos and the other pueblos of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta think of the Sierra as the heart of the planet, as the heart of the earth.
Otra energía que nos dejaron cuidar es el que nos lleva y nos trae, que es el viento, que es el aire, que es lo que respiramos. Entonces, si no existiera ese aire, no estuviéramos vivos. ¿Te puedes conectar, Julia? Te tiene caminando lejos. Vienes, vas.
That day wasn't planned, at least from my perspective, right? I didn't know what was going to happen that day. So I wasn't expecting to have this deep, thinking exercise that they ended up guiding us through. Clearly, they had decided that this was important and that we needed to think about these things in this particular way. So I didn't want to presume that I was understanding everything or that I was getting it right.
Entonces, ¿qué hacemos? Limpiamos el viento y con ese viento limpiamos lo que tenemos allá guardado. Ese museo, a través del viento, a través del pensamiento, viajan y visitan todo lo que tienen ustedes. O sea, como de aquí están allá y de allá están acá.
So they were basically asking us to let our thoughts be carried by the wind and to visit the LACMA storage and think of our objects, creating a connection. They don't wanted the objects back. For them, the importance of the objects is that they are the connectors between us. They create a relationship. So if we would think that objects were the manifestation of thought, they were really vessels for the connection between us and the universe.
Porque el viento también nos dirige, nos lleva, nos trae. Y gracias a ello también, o sea, como decíamos ahorita, ese oxígeno bueno, esa energía buena, que la comunicación fluye y empieza como a conectar diferentes sectores, diferentes personas, diferentes culturas. Y hay un bien común que gira alrededor de nosotros.
I was pretty surprised at the steps that they led us through in this meditation. And a big part of that was to try and cleanse our thoughts and unlearn some of the things that we were used to, some of the ways we were used to thinking. We were excited to see what would happen next, and they invited us to this special community gathering place where we would meet more members of the Arhuaco community. When we entered the clearing, we were asked to take our shoes off as a sign of respect and to be closer to nature. Everybody was sitting on these rocks in front of this beautiful rock face that seemed to form a sort of official entrance to the village.
Bueno, el lugar donde estamos, ustedes mismos verán la diferencia, la gran diferencia entre la vida de ustedes en la ciudad con la diferencia que tenemos acá. Cuando entramos a este lugar, como a este espacio, ustedes verán que los asientos que tenemos son las piedras. Y desde allí empezamos a conectarnos.
Just by sitting on those rocks with bare feet, it is how they connect to the earth and from there with the whole cosmos.
Las piedras nos sirven de banco. Allí hacemos esa conexión y hacemos esa reflexión y trabajamos con la naturaleza. Y lo que allí pensamos, lo que allí trabajamos, es para que dure como la piedra.
In a way, we were all creating something solid as stone, so our collaboration would be solid as stone.
What we began to realize is that it's these objects that are the connection between us. So by working together and taking care of them together, we are building a bridge between LACMA and the Arhuacos. And while these objects are allowed to be messengers and build this connection and facilitate this relationship, that's how they're continuing to fulfill their purpose.
They don't want the objects back. They want our commitment to maintain a relationship.
El hilo que le entregamos, ese es de algodón. Ese hilo es el material que vamos a utilizar para recoger esa energía, esas palabras. Es un compromiso. Bueno, esa es la aseguranza que le va a poner el mamo en nombre de Gumaco, de la sierra. Y la esposa del mamo Es para los hombres y el mamo para las mujeres, intercambiado. Nacue.
As a sign of commitment to one another and a promise to keep balance, the Arhuaco exchange these cotton strings that the women spin. They do that after every meaningful encounter.
It's really about relationships and connections. It's really that thread that creates reality.
In our time there, we've seen how important cotton is, both in rituals and in their everyday life. But we haven't really seen ceramics, and we definitely haven't seen any metalwork. We know that the Tairona had really sophisticated goldwork, but why haven't we seen any of that?
He would cover his entire body in gold dust.
That has brought treasure hunters for the last 500 years to try and claim this gold that is supposed to be at the bottom of this lake.